and failed at that, became a real estate agent, failed at that. He's like, and so, I mean, I really failed at those first two things. And then I started flipping houses. And once I made some money on it, my question was, how do I become the best? Hey, what is up, everybody? Welcome to the Fight Against Mediocrity YouTube channel, where we talk everything business, real estate, and sales. So this is part 2 of what I learned golfing with Ryan Pineda. I know I left you guys on kind of a cliffhanger, not saying what Ryan had said yet, but there's a lot to go into, so I'm excited to talk to you about it. So, just when I met Ryan, it was very relaxed. He is, somewhat of a celebrity influencer, has probably over 1 million people on all of his social media platforms following him. But it didn't seem like Twitter-pated when I met him. It was very down-to-earth, very cool. We're both Christians, so it was cool to talk about faith. And he was very open with everything. One of my biggest takeaways from Ryan that I want to start with is, I asked him once, you get a lot of questions. What do you wish people asked you? Which is a very good question. I didn't learn it from myself. I learned it from Alex Hormozy. And he said, I wish people looked at their lifestyle that they wanted before they just ran themselves into the ground. And what he means is, no amount of money is worth the sacrifices of the core things that are important to you: your health, your family, your spirituality. Like, those things need to be foundational. And so basically what he says is, I set up rules. I only work 30 hours a week. I work from 10 to 5. I have to be home by 5 to 5:15 for dinner with my wife, and we go on date nights every Friday. And I thought that was really cool and important because, again, you see so many entrepreneurs just running themselves into the ground, which I honestly think at first Ryan did. Before he had a team, I think that's what he did. But as he grew his sales, he was proactively creating that lifestyle. And I think what happens most of the time is entrepreneurs and business owners run themselves into the ground until they can't anymore, and then look up and are like, man, I did this wrong. Like, this is not the lifestyle I wanted. Maybe they lose their family. Maybe their health is sacrificed. And so, I've asked people who don't like their jobs, I say, well, what lifestyle do you want? And they've never even considered that. And so, like, that alone was worth the $2,500. Like, what kind of lifestyle do I want? Am I proactively building that? And not running myself into the ground, like looking for ways to build that lifestyle versus throwing everything at something and then looking up and be like, this isn't even what I wanted. Like, sure, maybe I have all the money, but this isn't even what I wanted as a lifestyle. I asked Ryan how to grow a social media following. What's really cool is most people will tell you to buy followers or pay for... There's a difference between paying for traffic, like paying for ads, and paying for eyes. But what so many people are doing right now, and I see it, is like, even some of the really big names, they're paying for followers and paying for comments and paying for likes. And I'll be completely honest with you, I did that for a little while and it destroyed my engagement. So I actually paid someone to go in and unfollow all the fake followers that I'd paid for. And I only did it to get to 10,000 followers so I could have the link in Instagram. But now they made that available to everyone. The link is where you can post on a story a link and people can click on it to go somewhere else. And I thought that was very important to have. And it is, but not at the sacrifice of paying for followers that don't even help you. And so he says, number one, I don't pay for followers. I never have, which I find very, very admirable, because so many people that I talk to say, buy followers. And I didn't feel right about it. So I was glad he said that. He said, if you're trying to grow a following, he says, don't start with YouTube, which I thought was not what he was going to say, because I'm starting a YouTube channel. He said the two things are Reels and TikToks, which makes sense if you think about it. Those can go viral a lot easier than a YouTube channel or an Instagram post or a Facebook post. And so when he said that, I was like, oh yeah, duh, that makes sense. So I'm doubling down on my Reels and TikToks, because those can go viral and then people can find you on other platforms. Again, this is like, I paid $2,500 for this. Ryan basically told me, he's like, dude, this advice that I'm going to give you is going to make you a multimillionaire. And so, I mean, this is gold that I'm giving you. I'm going to save the best one for last, so you're going to want to stick around. It was really, really good. And it actually came unsolicited. At the end, he's just like, dude, if there's one thing that, makes the biggest difference, this is what it is. I'm going to wait till the end. But let me know in the comments, like, what you're thinking, if you like this, what your biggest takeaways have been. If you would ever pay $2,500 to go golfing with someone. Everyone I told was like, dude, you're crazy. But for me, it was like, you're crazy not to do this. And then also, if you like this, if you find this valuable, please like and subscribe so more people can find it. He said, man, there's just so much good. One of the coolest things he said is he was like, you either want to be the most expensive or the least expensive. You never want to be right in the middle. But he said, my strategy, this is him talking, he says, my strategy is just to provide so much value for the price that they pay that they just don't even want to go look anywhere else, that they don't really have an option to go anywhere else, because I just over-delivered so far over what I even promised them that they just fall in love with what we do. And that makes a lot of sense, because it's word of mouth that grows businesses. Alex Hormozy talks about this in his book, $100 Million Offers, is when you pay for ads in most marketing, it's a linear growth. But when you start getting word of mouth, it's exponential, because if one person tells 5 people, and then they each tell 5 people, and then they each tell 5 people, it just blows up. And so providing so much value that people just don't have a choice to go anywhere else makes a ton of sense, and I really, really love that. So this is really cool. If you follow Ryan, you'll find this more interesting. If you don't, you may not as much. And again, I'm not going to be able to share all of this. Maybe I'll do another video. If you guys really like this, comment below and be like, hey, we want more, because I'm not going to be able to get through all of this. But it was interesting because I got in the car and I, did a Think and Grow Rich thing where I said, hey, man, tell me your story. How did you get here? And it was not what I thought, because for me, it's like, hey, I want to be able to create passive income and help other people create passive income and help other people create 6-figure economies in their life, because I think they deserve that. And so I'm going into this like, those are my big goals. But he's like, dude, I didn't have any big goals. I failed at golf or baseball. He was a AAA baseball player, and failed at that, became a real estate agent, failed at that. He's like, and so, I really failed at those first 2 things. And then I started flipping houses. And once I made some money on it, my question was, how do I become the best? And it was cool because he said, that's basically my secret, is I'm ultra competitive and I want to be the best. And he said, I've only been playing golf for 5 months. And I hired a coach, a trainer, and he's like, I want to be the best on this course. And so you could see it in his eyes, like that competitive drive to just be the best. And he's like, when I started my social media account, I said, how can I create the best content? When I started my YouTube account, how can I create the best content, the best value? And so, just wanting to be the best. And that kind of hit me because, you get some people over here that are like, hey, it doesn't matter the quality, just get it done. And then you get some people over here, I think of like Grant Cardone is more of the get it done. If you don't know who Grant Cardone is, he's the 10X guy. And then Darren Hardy, who's an amazing success and leadership coach, says, be excellent. Like, take as long as it takes to be excellent. So you've got these two opposite sides. And I think Ryan kind of falls in the middle of, hey, I want to be the best, but I also want to get crap done. There's a fine line between both of them. I think the reason Darren Hardy, well, I'm getting off topic anyways. He said, some personal advice he gave me was, he's like, you have to figure out your story. I'm a professional extreme unicyclist. I ranked 4th in the world when I rode. And he's like, dude, why are you not talking about that? He's like, that's unique. Like, you have to have some sort of uniqueness, especially on social media, because there's so much noise, to stand out. That hit me pretty hard. I'm like, oh man, I've been wasting that skill, wasting that talent. So find a way to be unique. Use your talents. Don't be ashamed of any talents that you had. I always just thought like unicycling is a weird thing that nobody really wants to hear about. But when I showed him, he's like, dude, that's sick. You should share that with more people. If you like this, comment below and say, do another video, and I'll share a few more things that he talked about. But at the end, when we're done golfing, and if you missed part one, like part one talks about a few other things and explains what this is that I went and did. So go watch part one. But basically the last piece of advice that he gave me was networking. And not what you think. He says, the number one thing that's changed my life is, he says, I can now talk to people who know things so I don't have to learn them. He says, if I want to know something about YouTube, I just call up Stephen Graham, who's a really good YouTuber, ask him the question, and I don't have to go through the years of trial and error to figure it out. And so he says, I'll pay anything to get around the right people. I'll do anything to get around someone who knows what I want to know, because it's going to basically take me, and say it takes 10 years to learn what they're going to teach me. I just fast forwarded and stole back 10 years of my life. So that's the last piece of advice. I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you did, like and subscribe. But we'll catch you on the next video. Have a great day.